Trust what you say and that it's all okay. But everything starts to feel like a con, and I'm the pawn. Am I right or wrong?
Hey everyone, and welcome to Season 2 of Knock On TV. Now first off, I want to say thanks to everyone who supported us for Season 1 of the show, because without your support and feedback, we definitely would not be here for Season 2. So again, thank you very much for all the support. Now this season on Knock On, we're excited about several things, not only the animals that we've taken on camera, but also we're going to bring more dead center segments and more field recon segments to give you that information that hopefully will make you a better bow hunter and a better archer. Now on this first show, we're going to start off the exact way that we did in Season 1 by going to one of my hot spots in Kansas. Now this particular year in Kansas, it was cold, it was wet, there was tons and tons of rain. It was miserable, to be honest with you. But you know what? The name of the game when it comes to rutting whitetails is perseverance. And if you stick with it, then right when everything is looking down, things are going to go the right way for you. Let's get after them.
Initializing connection. Loading contact. Selecting field equipment. Equipment selected. Targeting destination.
Hey everybody, we're in Kansas again. It's cold, nasty. I got a runny nose, which is a good sign. And it's been tough hunting this year. So every day I'm trying to do something new to hopefully improve my odds. Yesterday we found a 4-leaf clover, but that didn't work. We never saw a deer, so today I went with the 4-colored sad eye clown face paint, and it's worked pretty good. We've seen 2 little bucks and I think 5 or 6 does, so hopefully this new face paint ritual I got going right now is going to help us out. So with any luck, we're going to finally get to shoot an arrow. Knock it if you got it.
Shooter for sure. He heard it. He heard it.
Yeah, dude. Can you believe that?
2 years in a row, man.
Oh my gosh. 5 minutes after that. Was that a freaking rip too?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. 2 years in a row, JJ. We freaking come to Kansas, get discouraged, and stick with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Be sure to visit knockonarchery.com to see our entire line of knock-on lifestyle clothing, as well as some awesome knock-on gear and accessories that I personally take to the field myself. Enter promo code SHOWFAN and I'll include a free signed photo. Also remember that all US orders over 100 get free shipping. knockonarchery.com.
This is unbelievable, folks, because although I enjoy being in the tree stand, I do like shooting stuff, and it's been 13 days, actually 15 days without any action. So this is gonna be sweet. Let's go check it out. "40 yards. Look at that shot, dude. Smoker shot. Oh, sweet. Dude, did you see that brow tine? Whoa. Did you see this brow tine?
Thing's a dagger, man.
Big old super tine. Oh, gosh, he's a giant, dude. Look at that sucker. It's got the split G2. Got a big old dagger with the fork. Jeez. Tell you what, right there, that is what you come to Kansas for. Crazy main beam on the right side. Got the split G2, split brow tine on the left side. Got the big old dominant buck right there. Got the Hoyt Carbon Matrix Plus right there. You got a total happy knock and roll dude right here. Stay tuned. Gonna get this sucker set up for photos. Yeah, baby. 2 years in a row, man. 2 years in a row. Wow, what a sweet deer. Totally bladed right here, too. I didn't notice that. See how bladed he is?
Dead center.
This week on Dead Center, we're going to talk about the importance of having perfect arrow flight with your broadheads. And this is especially important for fixed blade broadheads because, as many of you know, a fixed blade broadhead in many cases is a lot trickier to hit in the same spot or to have perfect arrow flight. Now, with all my hunting shafts, there's a few things that I do that are super critical to a fixed blade broadhead. And all this does vary slightly depending on your speed. And I can tell you firsthand, bows continually get faster and faster each year. And I can tell you from experience, take advantage of that speed by shooting a heavier arrow and slowing your arrow down to around that 280 to 285 feet per second mark. Because if you're trying to shoot a fixed blade broadhead, those are the speeds where it's easiest to get them to tune. Because I can tell you, if you have a bow that's shooting my bow shoots 325 feet per second at an IBO speed, but I can tell you right now, no matter how perfectly it's tuned, with a fixed blade broadhead, that just does not work. So what I like to do is, one, I shoot a heavy shaft. A lot of times I'm shooting a Easton full metal jacket. Sometimes I shoot a Easton Axis with a heavy brass insert, but I increase my arrow shaft to where the speed goes down to a manageable speed for a fixed blade head. Then from there, what I do is I make sure, one, that my broadhead spins perfectly on the shaft. And a great tool for that is G5 makes an ASD tool, or an arrow squaring device. And this has a diamond sander on one side and then kind of a cutting edge on the other side of this little, silver part right here. One side's for carbon and one side is for aluminum shafts. And what you do is you just take one of your arrow shafts, you put it on this device, and you just roll it. And as you roll that, it sands your arrow shaft perfectly square at the end. If you have any glue residue, or if the arrow saw that they used to cut your arrows wasn't perfectly square, it'll correct that so that when you screw your broadhead on and you spin your broadhead on your finger, it's perfectly straight. That's super important. The next thing is making sure that your vanes and your broadheads are perfectly aligned, especially at the higher speeds. You need to have your fixed blade perfectly in line with your vanes. And you can do that several ways. One way is, depending on the type of arrow shaft you shoot, I shoot an Easton FMJ or an Axis. Both of them use a hit insert, and with those, they send a little sanding tool just like this. So what I'll do is, I'll screw my broadhead on and I'll look down it. If they're not perfectly indexed the way I need them to, I'll just set them on this stone and I'll just spin them, as square as possible with your fingers. And you bevel the inside, but you also clear all the debris off the outside, and you slightly file down that carbon so that when you tighten your broadhead on, it'll turn. And if you do it properly, you can get your vanes and the blades of your head perfectly lined up. And I can promise you, from a lot of testing, regardless of what type of brand you shoot, I shoot shuttle T-locks for my fixed blades. They're one of the best for flying as close to a field point as possible, but still at higher speeds, or depending on what type of vanes you're shooting, all that can slightly change. So two things that are critical: one, making sure that your broadhead spins perfectly on the shaft. You can spin it on your finger, it's easy. If it's wobbling, then I can tell you, you're gonna have issues. And then also look right down it. If your blades and your vanes are perfectly aligned, then each arrow is gonna fly as close together as possible, and you're gonna have much better arrow flight through those tight to reach spots. That's this week's Dead Center.
If you're looking to learn more about archery, be sure to tune in to Knock On Podcasts. Knock On Podcasts is a weekly talk show where I get in-depth with shooting techniques, equipment setup, and also give you a no BS review on some of the latest industry gear. Knock On Podcasts are great for listening on a road trip or that dreaded ride into work. Expand your archery knowledge with the highest level of world-class information on the airwaves. Knock On Podcasts.
Gonna just put some of this down here. I got one more bag I'm gonna put up in my other shooting lane, and hopefully as these deer cross through, they're gonna stop, get a whiff of that, and give us enough time to get the camera on them and whack them. So early season, good time of the year for doing a little early scouting, trimming lanes, getting your stands hung, getting everything safe about them. And then I actually like the early season and the very end of the season for filling my doe tags. That's when I prefer to do it. So if a doe comes by and nibbles on this, she's gonna get a meat missile for sure. So I'm gonna get in that stand here in a few minutes. Gotta put one more bag up here and we're gonna get after it.
closed captioning provided by Trophy Taker, the maker of the world's best fall-away arrow rest and the Shuttle T-Lock broadhead.
Field recon.
While I got a second here, I'm going to go ahead and use this week's field recon and talk to you about something that I'm dead serious about. Every year we hear about someone in our industry that we know that falls, dies, or gets injured from a tree stand. And I'm going to tell you right now, no matter how many times you hear it from people on shows, the importance of having a safety harness is an absolute. Do not go out without it. There's several different kinds on the market. We prefer these muddy harnesses just because they're light, they're real nice to put on, they hold your binoculars. This is actually my third one that I've got. The other two have all gone to hunters that I've been in camps with that told me they didn't have a safety harness, and I end up giving them away and use one of my old ones until I get a new one. But also, not only is wearing a safety harness important, the most dangerous part of hunting from a tree is that step from your ladder, from your sticks, from your pegs over onto your stand. It's usually that one step that kills people. And these new lineman lines, this is actually a product of Muddy as well. It's over 20 foot long. You have to go up your tree one time, put this around the tree at the top, and this hangs all the way to the bottom. And there's actually two sliding knots that you clip into, one for you and one for whoever you're hunting with if there's two of you. And as you go up the tree, you slide this knot. I mean, it's as easy as you could possibly ask for. You don't have to worry about it being noisy or loud. And literally from ground, right here on the ground, your first step, all the way up this tree, you can just climb with this knot. Go right up. Super, super easy and 100% safe. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, and I mean this because I speak from experience. Unfortunately, even though I always said I wasn't going to fall for a tree, last year myself and my wife both became statistics for hunting accidents out of trees. We both had our harnesses on, and we didn't have a linesman line on the places where we were at. We were hunting with friends. We were hunting with outfitters that had stands that we weren't sure of the ladders or the pegs. And in two different situations, we fell. Luckily, we were able to still be here to tell you about it. But I can tell you, after that experience, no matter how many times I said I'll never fall from a tree, I did. And I paid the price for it. So I can tell you the next thing that I paid for was going out and getting these lineman lines for every tree that I hunt in, my wife hunts in, or my boy hunts in, because again, this is the only way that you can be absolutely sure that you're safe from the ground all the way until you get in your stand. That's this week's Field Recon. Now let's go get my doe. Well, here's my doe. Awesome shot, perfect placement. And what's really cool about this is you can see actually the size of that entrance, and that's from this brand new product out that Trophy Taker's got. It's actually a brand new mechanical head. We don't even have a name for it yet, but it's got one of the coolest blade designs I've ever seen. The blades actually have, two little edges on them. So once they open, the edges pass one another and they won't go ahead and close back shut. They actually stay open just like this. They pivot depending on the angle of your shot, but also one of the downsides to shooting the mechanical broadheads is that if the arrow is stuck in there and the animal's running, the broadhead in the past has never really done a lot of damage for you, because normally when the arrow comes out, most mechanicals close back shut, whereas with this design, those scissors actually prevent this from closing shut, and they actually go wider, and they have blades on the back of the or an edge on the back of the blades as well as on the front. So if that does happen, this is one of the first mechanicals that would ever give you positive results from the arrow being still lodged in there. So this is an awesome product, full entrance, full exit. We're actually at one of my favorite stands right here. Last year I got a great buck out of that stand, and I cleared a few more lanes right here just so that we would be able to have a shot down to here, and luckily we didn't need a shot this far today because she was right up there at 15 yards. But just what I love to do here in the early season. Late in the morning, didn't see any buck movement, so I went ahead and filled my doe tag, and gonna take care of this, have some great table food, and get me strong and healthy and ready for the rut here coming up in another month. So hope you enjoyed it. Stay with us.